Whoa, Dave. Oh my God, was this an awesome show? In Search of Ancient Aliens. All
They're
the
here.
info. They are what? They're here? They're somewhere.
Is it just me? Or is it getting crazier out there?
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Late Late Horror Show. I'm Dino, as always. That is Dave Plouffe. Rates this show higher than a 5.9. In Search of Ancient Astronauts. I said aliens earlier, but no, it's astronauts. Oops.
Went by me too.
From 1973. Hosted by Rod Serling. So it's his voice throughout the entire thing. And Dave, I was shocked because we got so much information in 51 minutes.
I was exhausted by the time I got done with this program. I think I got like 5 pages of notes, and like they're oh my God. Well,
so many directions to go. Yeah. No, make sure you guys hit the thumbs up button. All that good stuff. I don't know why I keep saying that still.
Yes.
In the chat. Yeah, let me say hi to everybody in the chat. See who's here. Again, I cannot wait to, as Dave looks at the chat. Yeah, it looks interesting, don't it? I cannot wait to get into the topics here and all of the information. It reminds me, as I was watching this, if you haven't watched it in a long time, go back and watch it. It reminds you of all of the evidence and that's out there that people can, you would look at and you would go, oh my God, man. This is still out there. There's paintings with things on it, stone sculptures. There's artifacts that just blew my mind. Not that I didn't know about all these. I did. It's just being reminded of it. Oh, it just blew my mind again. Anyways, Harry Scott, what's going on? Edward Stewart, what is up? Good to see you, Edward Stewart, as always. Tojo Flaherty. What the heck? How come I can't say that? You're all talking, no show, always. Oh, go to hell, you son of a bitch.
I already sent him there.
Okay, thank you. What a dope.
Oh, my goodness.
Look at his profile picture. What's he trying to prove? Ancient aliens. All talk. Listen, okay, you're going to make me go on and say it. This show's more of... We throw a topic out there. We talk about shows, episodes, and things like that. But we're also, it's me, Dino, Dave. We tell jokes. We joke around with each other. Sometimes you hear food. Sometimes you never know what you're going to get when you tune into us on Sunday. Okay, so it's all about our personality and us having fun.
Yes.
And if you want to go and find a place on YouTube where somebody can read you a book and just, line by line, so you have the facts, then you go do that. But this is all about fun, and it's always going to be that way here. So if you don't like our personality, hit the bricks, find a toilet, squat and drop. Listen, I don't know. Anyways, it pisses me off. It really does. Not that I care. Trolls are trolls, but people got to understand and get it. We're here to have fun.
That's right.
Okay, that's it. Okay, Connie Clary, what's going on? Nathan, what's going on? Mr. Ed, Ricky, what is going on? Ricky, good to see you. Harry Scott, as always. Jimmy D, J.O.B. What does he say? Howdy, folks. Not familiar with this ancient astronauts. Oh God. Well, I mean, I think you know sci-fi and all that, so you probably know pretty good amount of what's going to be talked about. Lucy Vincent, how are you doing? My favorite show. There you go. Yeah.
Thank you.
It's been so long since I've watched this, man, and I'm like going, now I got to go back and watch all the. Well, we're going to be going through the In Search of. So, let's see. The Mad Yokai. What's going on? V is here. Yay.
V is Lucy Vincent.
V is Lucy Vincent?
Yeah.
Interesting. How do you know that?
Because I'm smart, and she said it in the chat.
Oh, she said in the chat. There you go.
Oh, sorry, it was on the wrong account.
Okay. I think that's pretty much it. Tune the news. Andrea, I think, is here. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, let me go down real quick. Oh, where is this? I'm looking for it again. Lucy Vincent.
Thank you.
Yeah, my favorite show. Okay, thank you. Well, good to have you here. Good to have you here. Oops, I got rid of the chat. Let me take that off. Okay, Dave, ancient astronauts. Boy, I tell you, this thing was packed. But you go ahead. Start.
Let me give you the intro.
Intro it, man.
Okay,
Intro.
so we're going to be doing the In Search of series. But in order to do the In Search of series with Leonard Nimoy, we needed to do the 3 standalone films that we actually didn't know existed. So the first one is In Search of Ancient Astronauts. There's going to be Mysterious Monsters coming up, and I forget the third one.
Can't wait for that.
Oh, boy. But the IMDb says that the film examines the theory that aliens have landed on Earth in ancient times and were responsible for many of mankind's oldest mysteries. So one of the things, too, about this is that the writer was Eric von Daniken. So when we look at this, we got Rod Serling.
Well, this is about the book Chariots of the Gods.
Chariots of the Gods, yes.
Yeah, by Eric von Daniken. So a very good read, packed with a lot of info. Yep.
We've got Rod Serling, as you had mentioned, narrating the entire film.
So
and
good.
Also guest stars like Carl Sagan and Werner von Braun.
Yep.
So, I mean, we just have like the coolest people in 1973 exposing us
Yes.
to like all these really cool ancient astronaut ideas.
Yes.
And I mean, I can imagine in 1973 watching this going, I hope I can, watch this again sometime because I've got no way to record it.
Oh yeah. No, listen, it was amazing. And again, the way it was put together, the show, it was an accumulation of tons of facts to back up the story of ancient astronauts. And it starts right off with talking about where did life come from? Was it seeded from outside our solar system? And then that's where we get into the ancient aliens that are depicted through art, stone sculptures, texts. One thing that blew my mind, Dave, I told you this earlier, was the ancient text itself. There's libraries, there's countries out there with museums where there's ancient text, fragile text that have survived. Can you imagine the amount that has not survived?
Right.
But the amount that has survived, a fraction of the text has been deciphered, a very tiny bit. Some can't be deciphered, and they're trying to decipher it, but they can't. And a lot of the ones it depicts, it talks about, ancient alien like, beings or ships or things coming from the sky, things helping them build. That's going to be a big topic during this entire episode. Is people are ancient aliens supposedly, or an individual coming, teaching, or helping to build society or structures like the Great Pyramids, like all these features that we see across the globe. It's just amazing, Dave. Amazing.
Can we go to Ricky Marshall's comment real quick?
Sure.
I was a young kid when In Search of was on TV. I remember watching it with my mom and dad in the mid-70s. It was one of my favorite shows. I'm going to ditto that because I also remember watching In Search of as a young kid. The music scared the crap out of me. And I remember watching it. Sunday nights were always weird at my house. It was Sunday night was always chicken dinner, salad, vegetable. You'd be able to watch A Wonderful World of Disney. You'd watch In Search of, and then I would remember, gosh darn it, I have homework to do. and then I would have to stay up late Sunday night and do homework.
Yeah, that's kind of the way it goes, right?
Yeah. Did you watch this also on TV, The In Search of? Or
I remember watching it, yes, as a youngster, and yeah, I mean, it's what got me. Stuff like this in the books. What was it? The Time Life books
Oh yeah.
are the ones that really got me into this. And you know, I've just it took off from there. You know, I've just always loved it. Yeah, so Bigfoot. You know, I heard that growing up as a kid too. The Legend of Boggy Creek and all that. So
Well,
yeah, no,
that one
it's
scares me worse than anything. I would rather have Bigfoot than that Boggy Creek movie.
oh yeah, oh
And I
yeah.
think there are 1 or 2 signals.
Chris W. Hey, Tony Horror writer. Good to see you. Lucy Vincent says comets and asteroids are the sperm seeding the eggs planets of the universes. That's my theory. It's a good theory, Lucy. I believe it's one of the theories that are high up on the list when I talk about the subject, because yeah, it can quite well be how things. But I think there's a deeper something deeper going on here when civilizations rise and fall, rise and fall, rise and fall. You know what I mean? You know, even talking about the pyramids of Egypt, you know, it's like we're still trying to figure how did they do it? How did was it done? You know, and why is it configured the way it is with astronomical mathematics and this and that? Why is it pointing to this, you know, star system? And there's so many things. Pi.
And
How did we?
When
Anyway,
we get there, I'll even tell you what I tell my classes, because I have to teach about ancient Egypt and
Yeah.
and the Colossi at Memnon and the pyramids and everything. So it's an interesting. Luckily, I teach in schools where they're not like looking down my basically notes going, oh, you can't say this,
Yeah.
you know. But I think it's a fascinating thing to be able to teach.
Oh, 100%. And the really cool part of it is using your brain to try to figure out, connect the dots and put all of this together. I mean, we got a lot of scholars out there and physicists and whatnot that, you know, research all this, you know, and try to figure these things out. But man, I tell you, I think over the span of civilization from whenever it started. I mean, we could talk about Atlantis, Egypt, the Mayans, the Incans, Nazca, you know, on and on. They vanish, you know, civilization comes back somewhere else, you know, and then how about this? You know, really, the past 100 years is when our civilization really has taken off.
Right.
You know, I mean,
Well, think about, you know,
flying a plane when? I mean, you know,
I mean, just 5 or 6 generations ago from us, you know, we're traveling across the country in a covered wagon and horses, and we look up and we can see the
blows my
stars.
mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now we can like do like planetary, like, you know, we can go to Mars, we can go to, you know, we have probes that landed on Mercury and Venus, and, you know,
Well, our cell
descended
phones, our
into
tablets,
Jupiter,
our
everything.
computers. I mean, everything. I mean, it's just become to where
right?
we
I
don't
mean,
even
it's
need
amazing
to.
what this does.
Well, what caught me? I guess we should go through this because I mean, what caught my interest in a lot of these things when we go to the Mayans, the Incans, Nazca, or whatever. There's always, you know, somebody who came, you know, who's light skinned, brown of hair, who taught us law, agriculture, how to build our society, helped us build the city that we have here, which we know a lot of these cities we're trying to figure out how they built them. You know, a lot of these stones were quarried from, you know, far off, and how did they get it here? You know, and they talk through their either their text or through art or however they left behind a message that you know, this person or these people helped us do this and then left us and took off to the stars. I mean, you know, what does that say? And this is in cultures all across the globe, you know. So there's got to be something to it. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, AJ, what's going on? Good to see you. But anyways, Dave, yeah, wherever you want to go, man.
Well, I'm just going to go. Yeah, go ahead.
Just one quick more thing. I mean, just to make my point too, on how civilizations can misinterpret things. During World War II, United States military flew in. Where was it?
It's
The
an
South
island
Pacific.
in the North Pacific.
South Pacific. I wrote it down. But they flew planes.
You're dyslexic, so
yeah, that's true. But military personnel flew planes in this tribal area where, you know, they've never seen, you know, a white man coming from the sky, and thus the lore became, and they built straw structures and you know, talked of tales of the white man flying out of the sky and you know, flying these objects. It's so easily to misinterpret certain things. So even if there was an ancient civilization that had ships where they flew, you know, the cultures or the civilizations like the Incans or the Mayans see this and they're gods, you know. I mean, it's very complicated. I don't know. Go on, Dave. I got to shut up. I'm going too fast.
It's not easy.
Yeah, I got to slow down.
What I liked about those natives on the island is that they built fake planes. They built effigies of these spaceships that I thought were so incredibly cool. And so, like, it reminds us again, this is not even 100 years ago that this happened. It was about 80 years ago. And we still have primitive tribes on this planet that, you know, don't have a Starbucks, that don't have a drive-through McDonald's, you know, that are totally like set aside from the rest of civilization. So
100%.
At the beginning of the film, it says there's a possibility of 1 million civilizations out there in the cosmos. And at least one of them could have invented space travel. But reverting back to that remote island where you have these gods, quote unquote, landing, the American servicemen, I'm surprised that they were embraced, because I don't think they would be embraced in our culture today, at least here. You know, I don't think we would go, oh, hi, Mr. Spaceman, you know. It would be like we would run, we would hide, we would, you know, even try to kill an alien. As I remember one of the Art Bell episodes saying that if a UFO landed on the White House lawn, that alien's going to be full of lead by the time it gets to the bottom of that landing ramp.
No. Yeah, unfortunately, as a civilization, I don't know where we stand really in, you know, being able to be contacted by another alien life. Yeah, your mom, it sounds like a troll, but ain't no aliens visiting Earth. Humans are simple, not dumb. Well, no, some humans are geniuses. Some are very, very smart. Also, it's your opinion that aliens aren't visiting Earth. I mean, I don't think you know anything, honestly, to tell you the truth. There's so many weird, strange phenomena that happen out there, and they're all unexplained. And then you got evidence, like in this episode, and in texts, in paintings, and carvings, that just prove us otherwise. You know what I'm saying, Dave?
Do you want to go ahead and show that one image from Yugoslavia?
Yeah, I'll do that. I did want to bring up really quick. Who was it? Was it J.O.B. When for thousands of years before all this, humans lived a fairly primitive life. In such a short period of time, I've said this over and over again, how quickly we've advanced as a civilization. It makes no sense. Other than if we go back into other history, over in our Art Bell podcast that we talk about, is where alien technology being given to us, like fiber optics, whatnot, to progress us quicker and quicker and quicker. This could be something that's happened all over time the past civilizations like Egypt. You know what I mean?
Well, and if you're interested in that, we did a Art Bell Philip J. Corso
Yeah.
breakdown, and that you can find on the channel as well.
Yeah, and Easter Island. Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about that in a few, but
and I have a problem with Stonehenge. I have a problem with that.
okay.
We'll talk about that when we get there.
Okay. But yeah, let me share a picture with you of something that just baffles the mind. It really does. Let's see, window. It's this image right here, and I'll get a closer look at this image. But if you see this image, this is from Yugoslavia, right? A chapel in Yugoslavia. The church, it's a monastery, and up on the ceiling, almost hidden in darkness, you have this painting stretched up there. Okay, and it depicts, a lot of religious, meanings and things. But then you see over to the left and over to the right, you see two ships. Okay, those are ships with people inside them, one chasing the other. Okay, and I don't know if how close I can get to show the detail, but you got one ship over here on this side with somebody inside of it, and that's a ship flying in midair, controlling with, you could see the flames kind of behind it, and on the other side being chased, and I actually do have a better picture of that one, which I'll show here. Let me share that one, Dave, because I think showing it a little closer is even cooler. Let me share that one right there. Look at that.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's in this painting that's hidden in this church monastery in Yugoslavia. That's up on the roof where you can barely see it. And I mean, just look at that thing. I mean, what else could it be? My point being is there's artwork and everything else depicted across in caves, and we'll talk about other instances as we go on here, but what else would you call that, Dave? What else, if you look at that, what would you think?
I don't know of any, because I've studied these because I've studied art.
Yeah.
But there's nothing that says that, oh, these are here because, there's some type of religious symbology or anything like that.
Hey,
there's a number of great images that do show like UFOs and just weird, the stigmata, things like that. You had mentioned cave paintings, and I wanted to touch base real quick with your interviews with Heather Arnold in the past, because she's dealt with a lot of those types of images. Have there been has she brought that up in her conversations with you?
Oh yeah, Heather Arnold has shown many stone structures and paintings. Again, it's been a while since I talked to her, but that do depict this type of stuff. Again, here's a classic one that depicts a man in a rocket ship. I mean, what else would you call this? This is a stone tablet that they had found, and it depicts a man in a flying machine, a rocket machine, his foot down by some type of lever holding some gears. There's little, you know what I'm saying? I mean, what else would that be?
Mm-hmm.
It could be something else, but I have no idea what it is. But anyways, just tremendously unbelievable art out there that
I'm actually going to drop you an image via Facebook.
Okay.
If you could show that. This is one that has always been one of my favorites. So give me just a second.
Yeah, no problem. There's also while Dave's getting that, there's this image too, which this blows my mind. This one, this is on on stones in, I wrote it down somewhere, but this is another image on stones. I think dates back 2,000 years, I do believe, but depicts what is a being with a helmet, and you could see spikes or antenna or whatnot coming out from the antenna itself with strange objects in their hand. But I mean, what else could that be? What else? I mean, they're not dreaming this stuff up, and they're carved on rocks, and they're going to stand the test of time for the most part. I just think just unbelievable. Just really is unbelievable stuff. It just blows my mind. It really does.
Yeah, I sent you the image.
Where'd you send it to me at?
Facebook message.
Oh, how dare you! So okay, no, I'll open up. Go ahead, Dave. Continue to talk. I'll get the image.
All right. Yeah. So I mean, it's really cool to be able to teach in classes with some of this artistic material that you begin to question, like exactly that's not my tail. That's Bo has decided to join us as well.
Who has? Oh, Bo. Hey, Bo, what's going on?
Yeah, she was a pain in the butt on Thursday, but she's doing a little bit better today.
I'll get to some of the chats here too. It seems like you guys are chiming in with some interesting stuff too.
Definitely, and I'm looking forward to talking about the Piri Reis map and all of that.
Yeah, and Dave, tell me what you. Where is that? Window. How come I don't see it?
I don't know.
Oh, I didn't open it up. So hold on, Dave. Let me open it up. Here we go. And then I'll share it. This is interesting. I like to hear what you have to say about this as it comes to what we're talking about here. So I'm sharing the image. There it is. What are we looking at?
All right. So that is called the Mystic Nativity. And it's by the artist Botticelli, Sandro Botticelli, who during the Renaissance is one of the most famous artists of the 1400s. He did like the Primavera is one of his famous paintings. Also the Birth of Venus, when you see her coming to shore on a half shell. And this painting too, really we get to see like the nativity down below, but then all of a sudden you have all these figures dancing up above, and it looks like they're being elevated into the sky.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just amazing. And
whether that's a depiction of entering like a UFO or a portal, or
if they're on Skinwalker Ranch, we know where they're going.
Right. So yeah, that's very interesting too as well. I didn't see that one. I love old artwork like this. I really do.
Yeah, but that's one of my favorites. It's such a beautiful painting, but after you look at it for a while, it's like, whoa, there's some psychedelic stuff going on here. So
oh yeah. A couple of things, and again, this could be like a 5-hour show. Really, I'm trying to do my best to talk a little bit slower and not be so enthusiastic, but we only have an hour and a half show, and there's so much to get to. Do all of the sites align with Orion? Have we found all the aligned structures? Dash says, you know what? A lot do. Again, there's so much subject matter in this. I could have prepared 2 hours before this with more information. I think we're doing more of a broader kind of topic on everything. But yeah, I mean, a lot of the celestial alignments are, it makes you ponder and makes you wonder. But let's see. Let me go to, oh God, there's too many here. I don't even know. Let's see. Zachary says, in 1561, Nuremberg, witnesses saw spheres, rods, and crosses in the skies, moving like a battle, firing flashes, and crashing to earth. No one knows what it is. There you go. GG. There has to be a reason for these things that defy explanation. Yeah, I believe that there are civilizations out there that are extraterrestrial, and they have visited us. I will say this, and I'll try to talk a little bit slower, but there has to be a reason for these things. I think it's simpler than that. I really do. I know there's people of faith that have totally different beliefs than, other civilizations or alien life being out there in the universe and coming to our little planet. Okay. I know people, it's hard to wrap their head around that when you believe in certain faiths and whatnot. But I really do believe that the entire universe is teeming with life everywhere in one form or the other. We find it below in our oceans. They're living off, little ventilation lava shafts that give off, cracks in the rock way beneath the surface. That's ammonia, So I don't think there's any place, even in our solar system, on any moon, on any planet, that something isn't living. We may not see it on the surface, or with our telescopes or satellites, but I believe it's everywhere in one form or the other. And I think what is going on with the Earth over billions of years, what is it, 6 billion years? We'll say millions of years, whatever. But we can go maybe 3 billion years. Give 2 billion for everything to start coming together. And then, give 3 billion for, imagine all that has happened during that time. And I believe over time, all of these civilizations that we know of, I think this is just like one grain of sand in a big bowl of sand. Okay.
Right.
Of the history that we know, Dave. Like we go back to the Egypt and, Mayans and Incans. I think before that, we talk even of Atlantis. I think Atlantis is one of those things that it's almost lost, but we still talk about it. Okay. If you get what I'm saying. And I think before that, there's even other civilizations who have either tinkered with, seeded. I think who we are today, I don't know how old or how long it took to get us to where we're at by tinkering with our genome, our DNA, our genetics. But I really do believe that aliens out there somewhere else has tinkered with life on Earth over and over and over again. And that's why it goes up, it goes down, they thrive, they diminish, they're gone, and then they're here again. And then all of a sudden, what's happened here in the past 100 years could be, and in our mind, thinking of all of this, we really took off. But who the heck knows, like Atlantis, what's been out there? But that's my thought, Dave.
I don't agree with you.
Really?
In that, I don't think aliens have interacted with us to the genome level or anything like that. I think aliens have visited. I think maybe they have guided us. I think they, like with Philip J. Corso, have given us things like, in our more modern age, like a transistor. And think about, again, how quickly our knowledge of computers and things like that just, multiplies exponentially would be the word I would use.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see them messing with our DNA or biologics or anything like that. What I find interesting, though,
abductions.
That may be something else. But I think they're testing more than anything. But I also think it's fascinating to think that with as long of a history as we've had, as far as this planet being around, we see the ancient maps, right? Pangea, the supercontinent. When I talk about to my classes of ancient civilizations, I go back to Precambrian times, where basically all the continents were upside down and they were at the South Pole. And
Right.
for us to think that life or some type of life didn't exist on those continents at a specific time, I think we are just the most current manifestation of human beings on this planet.
Yeah, listen, that's one way to take it too.
And one of the things is that everything we make crumbles within such a blink of an eye, you know, that
Exactly.
we don't have, you know, I mean, like I think about like they were talking about the ancient manuscripts,
Hmm.
how quickly those would disappear. Boom, you know.
Oh yeah.
I'm a person who's still upset about the burning of the library at Alexandria.
Yeah.
What did we lose there? How lucky we are to find something like the Rosetta Stone. But even if we look back in a multi-billion year planet, you know, all we have is material that dates back to what, 11,000 years, you know, and that's
Well,
hardly anything.
that's what I'm saying. I think a certain point, all of that gets lost. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Because it's just too old. You know what I mean? But there comes a certain point to where the lore is still there. There's certain manuscripts. There's things on the planet like the Nazca lines and paintings that have survived over 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,000 years or so, that, you know, aren't erased yet, you know. But my thoughts on the whole, you know, higher beings, you know, tinkering with us is because of all the stories that we hear through all of the ancient civilizations of somebody came from the sky, they helped build the pyramids, you know, they helped build Machu Picchu. That was supposedly built by somebody who came, you know, down from the stars and, you know, taught them and helped. And you know, I got another thing I want to say real quick here, but let me get to Gigi. Dealing with Easter Island. Let's go to Easter Island after this real quick, because
All right.
the two priest scenario is very interesting. Gigi says a few things, but this one caught my eye real quick. Well, I am a person of faith. Yes. My feeling is that you cannot have someone as powerful as God who would create this magnificent universe and unlimited to a single blue ball. 100% agree with you. And I don't think anywhere in the Bible does it say that this is the only place where life has been created. I think a lot of people are open to interpreting certain parts of the Bible, whether it's the older versions, or I don't think we'd ever get to the original. It's probably, maybe it's locked somewhere deep down, but I agree with you 100%. It's a waste of space. Why would God not seed life everywhere or make life everywhere in the universe? So, um, Dave, man, I don't know. There's so much, like, off of that I can continue to go
I
too.
know. My only notes right now were also that isn't it almost all civilizations even speak about a flood, like
Yeah,
Noah's flood, you
yeah.
know, and that's something that's universal. I think
Well,
always
I
about
think they all fit in that timeline too, you know,
yeah.
where this event most likely happened, you know, so in one way or the other.
I also
But
think about the movie Contact, which of course is one of Art Bell's favorite movies. It is written by Carl Sagan, and it is, you know, as she speaks about, you know, what a great waste of space it would all be if we were the only people who were alive.
right,
And
right.
we're also always thinking about the extraterrestrials or aliens looking like us and being like us, but it doesn't have to be. You know, it can just be, I think we talk a lot about just energy is a certain form of life as well.
Oh yeah, and getting back to the faith thing, which I wanted to throw in there, you know, God being the Almighty Creator of everything, if that's your faith, I do also believe that there's another way that He could have created life, and you know, there's people who say, hey, life is created, and life is created to be as it may, you know, you are given free will. So what's to say that wherever life is seated, things are just left to grow, evolve, and you know, like a big petri dish kind of, you know. Um, and I'm not even going to get into the philosophical parts of why the evil exists, you know, but that's a whole different other show.
Oh yeah.
But that can be intertwined in all of that. And listen, I'll read the chat back later too, because I know a lot of people are making some really good points and whatnot. But getting to Easter Island also, I thought it was very interesting that, okay, first of all, this island of bird people, basically, and you can interpret the bird head as maybe a space helmet with a mask or something, whatever. It is what it is. But there were 600 giant stone figures on this island, many 65 feet long, hundreds of tons. But what I thought was really interesting, because the island itself consisted mostly of women and children, like 70%, not a lot of men. And the stone structures themselves were quarried again from a very far distance. And there was a talk, and the lore is that there were these two beings who were priests, and these stones could only be moved from the stone quarry by the two priests, meaning levitated and put into place. And this is what's talked about. So think about it. If you have a race of beings or whatever, whoever these beings were, that came from the heavens, the skies, and perform these acts. Listen, I don't understand why the stone sculptures. I really don't, because the other sad part, Dave, and we talked about this, the text. Mercenaries came to the island and they burned and destroyed
missionaries.
the text. Missionaries.
Yeah, mercenaries.
Yeah, no, totally different thing. Missionaries totally. They destroyed all of the manuscript, the text, the hieroglyphics. There were hieroglyphics that were that could have shed some light on what this was all about. Were these beings of that came from the heavens? Was this how the race of beings that were on Easter Island looked? I don't think so, because there was one lone stone sculpture with a rounded head of a man, a human form, kneeling to the ground looking up at the heavens. So, but I thought the most amazing part was the two priests. This was all done with two priests who worked together, and you needed both of them. And they found out that there was a lot of strange magnetic anomalies on Easter Island too. So that could have something to do with the two. But I thought that was very interesting, Dave.
I think Easter Island is fascinating, and it's a place that I would like to visit. Many, many years ago, pre-Bo, I was looking at taking a tour in the South Pacific area.
Listen, Ricky, I mix my words up. Just mercenaries.
And they do have a couple cruises that stop there. It's like 21, 28-day cruises around the South Pacific from Hawaii to, New Zealand and back. But it was one of the places that I've always wanted to go. It's 2,000 miles, 3,000 miles off the coast of Chile. It is like such a remote location, and a place that really, you're at the whim of nature, and you're creating these gigantic, basically sculptures that all face the same way.
Yep.
That I've heard other programs where they are, they were built to prevent this island from sinking like a neighboring island sank.
Yeah.
That we have to
save the people.
Yeah, that we're quarrying and transporting these stones about 12 miles, which is not, Easter Island is not a big island to begin with. So it's like, hey, let's take this from one side of the island to the other. Why not just stand things up there? And then
but they were too big, too heavy, and there were not enough men on the island. A very small population. I think only, what did they say? Like 1,000 inhabitants at a time or something like that, mostly made up of elderly and children. Not enough men to even do this. And J.O.B. It depends where you got your information from, because a lot of people come up with their own theories, and then you see them on shows and stuff. But the two priests, levitation, the story coming down, all the information I've gotten points to that. But people have said over and over, we get this with the pyramids, and every other structure that was, or sculpture that was out there in ancient civilizations, that they used ropes, they did this and that. It's one person's way of debunking what could possibly be something dealing with aliens or ancient aliens. So
But you're
I'm
also
not saying you're wrong, but
again, you're looking at doing that for 12 miles.
well, right, yeah, no,
I mean, it's not
it.
like, hey, we're taking this from the quarry, we're going to rock it down to the seashore and plop it right there to prevent, marauding tribes from coming to land. I mean, this is like, hey, let's take this from Cleveland, to 12 miles away, where I don't know where your 12 miles away city is, but it's, it's a great distance. And I'm sure we're not using paved roads here on Easter Island. We're probably, some of it's marshy, some of it's grassy, some of it's rocky, and I mean, we can rock it left and right for as much as we want. And as Ed Stewart, I think, or Mr. Ed said, I hate to be on the wrong side of it if it was rocked too hard, because it would fall down and crush you. So
yeah, no, it's and he Dash says where the stones moved on the magnetic lines. Well, that's why there's a lot of magnetic anomalies, and I think all over the earth you will find these magnetic anomalies in these types of places where strange things happen. There are locations all over the globe that these things come up with. But yeah, no, it's a very, very interesting hypothesis, Dave. I don't know. Okay, Ojo, what's going on? Good to see you. Good to see you. But anyways, yeah, where do you want to? There's tons of stuff.
There is. I want to talk about the Egyptian pyramids.
Well, sure, we can do that.
I'm going to bring up what I tell my students, because I think they're fascinating. Let me bring up my class notes.
I also think there's ancient technology that we've lost. We don't know, like, the capability of magnetics to the point of like moving something that large. I really don't. We had one guy in Coral Castle. If you don't know what Coral Castle is in Florida, look it up. Supposedly one man built and moved all of this heavy stuff. When you're dealing with magnetics, I think the possibilities are unlimited on how strong, how heavy of an object you can move. But again, I think it's the technology, and I think it's the race of beings. It sounds nutty, but listen, I'm going with it because I really do think we have been interfered with or helped out with our civilizations over the span of civilization on this planet, and we just don't know. But go ahead, Dave.
All right, so we've got 3 pyramids. We've got Khufu, which is the grandfather. We have Khafre, which you see the Sphinx in front of, and it still has some of the casing stones at the very top. And then finally, the smallest one is the grandson, which is Menkaure. A lot of people think when we talk about the Great Pyramids, it's actually it's actually the one in the middle because it looks largest, but it's actually, it's up on a little bit of a hill, so that's why it looks larger than the other 3. The weight of the Great Pyramid is 6 million tons, 2.5 million for each individual block. Each of these blocks is a different size and shape, and they fit together perfectly. It's aligned to true north within 3/60ths of a degree. The stones were transported from the far side of the Nile. And so 20,000 workmen hauling 10 blocks a day would need 640 years to build just one of those pyramids. The base of the Great Pyramid is 13 acres, which means you could plop in like 500,000 square foot homes as a small community underneath the pyramid.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just amazing how much weight and volume and time it takes. I love Graham Hancock, who says that he goes, if you believe the ramp story, where they just basically haul the blocks up the ramp, you have a 10-to-1 ratio. So every 10 feet forward, you can move up 1 foot. And he goes, you know how long of a ramp you need for that? And he goes, you need a big effing ramp. And so they say that Khufu's pyramid was done in 25 years. And if that is the case, that means a stone had to be cut, moved, and set into place every 2 minutes.
Oh, there's stone structures all over the planet that have been precision cut. That, I mean, all over the planet. That it's like, okay, again, lost technology, or were we helped with people from the skies? You know what I mean? That's the big question. And why stone? Why stone? I think because if you're coming from there to help a civilization, and let's give them some let's help this planet maybe thrive. What's the one thing on the planet that could withstand the test of time? It's rock. It's stone, certain kind of rock, not your riverbed, that's for sure. Yeah, it crumbles very easily. But yeah, no, the Nazca lines, how long will they be there? It's an abandoned airport. We'll talk about that too when we get to it. But oh my God, that's just
I don't think we're going to get there today.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really crazy. A Shadow from the Tomb, what's going on? Shadow amongst the masses, good to see you. Good to see everybody. Every Sunday night, me and Dave are here, if you don't know. Let's see, resonance. That's another good topic, maybe for another show. We talked about that before. The Earth has a frequency.
Yeah.
The Earth has a frequency, and if you can and use it in conjunct field, I mean, I don't even hear that inside. I don't. Possible. So anyway, Dave, where do you want to go?
I don't care where we go next.
Okay.
Why don't we talk about, you've gotten all blurry for a moment.
Did I?
Yeah. And went a little silent on me, so I'm not sure if that's you or me. But let's talk about the Piri Reis map. I love talking maps.
Oh yeah, the map. The map that shows. You know what? Yeah, Restream's having a little bit of issues. We're getting stuck here. Okay, hopefully we're good. Go ahead, Dave. Talk about that, because you would have to be way in the sky to. How did they know the continents? Yeah, go ahead.
And what's exciting is that Cairo is the center of the map. So whoever made the map must have been located within that area of the world, and then everything else is spaced out around it. So
sorry if there's any technical difficulties. I don't know what to do about that, but we'll get through it. Okay, go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, that's okay. And so in these maps, they're created in the 1st century AD based on older maps or source maps. And the Piri Reis map is on display in a location in Constantinople. And again, it's just like, how do we see the world from way far up above? I mean,
isn't that the map with Antarctica? Which
there is also, there's another map. There's several maps here, but there's another map that shows Antarctica. But the map's from the 1500s, and we didn't discover this as a current population until the 1800s. So I always thought that was just a great, fascinating story.
Oh, 100%. I mean, how do you make a map when supposedly they didn't travel? But again, I go to where I do believe that come and gone. Probably maps have gone. That and so it is. Map tells a lot. Dash says Talos, Max, and Phobos hum left of the three Atlas. Three very interesting. It's going on right now, and I think 2 months or 3 we will be able to. I think it's 2 or 3 months. We will get a closer. It's going to swing by Earth. It's supposedly a comet, but it's got no tail. It's made up of a lot of nickel. It's metallic. It's doing things that comets don't usually do. And you got two sides kind of fighting it out, where you got the old school physicists saying it's just an older comet of like 9 billion years old, and it's picked up a lot of garbage over all of these billions of years, and it's got a lot of iron content and a lot of metals. This is where it gets thus not a lot of debris to make the tail, which I think that's a lot of hogwash. I think then you got someone like Avi Loeb, who's kind of an up and comer, kind of scientific physicist type, Carl Sagan, Michio Kaku type, who's really getting into it. And he's right. It's doing things and that it shouldn't be doing. It's actually seems to thrust at one point. It seems to make movements at times. And I'm sorry, it could possibly be a ship. it's taken and flying by. It used the sun just like any other thing for inertia and whipping by, gain some speed. It's just very interesting, Dave.
I always think too about like how we sent out, and we'll talk about this after we talk the top of the hour stuff.
Yeah.
But with Voyager spacecraft, we just send it out there. Here's some information on it.
Yep.
Why couldn't this be something like that it was sent to, just out into the universe, and then all of a sudden we're, catching it on because of,
yeah,
we're in the pathway,
One of the coolest places I've ever been is Border Temple, not as old as Giza, but still remarkable that humans built it in 778 AD. Did humans build it? Who knows? The shadow knows. No. Listen, there's so many unexplained phenomena. Listen, we're sticking to ancient aliens or astronauts, not aliens. And no mercenaries. There's no mercenaries.
Copyright.
There's no mercenaries. No. Oh boy. Oh, and the we'll get to Nazca after the top of the hour here. Let's go to let's see, Dave, what we are at with thumbs up. Thank you everybody for being here. Again, we're no experts, but we do like to talk about the subject, that's for sure. And yeah. Let's see. We have 67 thumbs up. Oh my gosh. If you haven't hit the thumbs up, please hit the thumbs up. Try getting us to 100 thumbs up. Before Dave goes on and tells you the fantastic shows coming up here in the future. I wish numbers were better. We get lost amongst the old time radio shows. Everybody who's here right now, just know we're here every Sunday. I know it depends on the topic, but I'm so disappointed in like how many views we have after all the subscribers we've gained. But we've become an old time radio YouTube channel, and these great shows that me and Dave do just get lost amongst the old time radio algorithm, and we don't get enough people watching our videos. And I'm strongly thinking of, I don't care if we just get 50 views. I'm really thinking of maybe another channel just dedicated to me and Dave doing our thing, or another podcast in some other manner, or maybe memberships only. I don't know, but just so that we can get an algorithm that hits our shows on Sundays and puts us out there, so, because I've just, inside when you've got over 400,000 subscribers and we've grown and grown and grown, and I know how great the old time radio shows do. it hurts a little bit, as a content creator to see that I don't get as many views as we should, because we put on great shows and we put some effort into this. Well, half the time. I mean, half the time we're just goofing around, but you get what I'm saying. So I don't know what to say with you guys. If thank you for being here, but give us a thumbs up. We're going to keep doing our thing. And Dave, what do we got coming up the weeks here, man?
I'm glad you asked that. Coming up next weekend on November the 16th, we have Art Bell. We normally do an Art Bell every single month.
Yes, Defeated the Wasp.
This is Bizarre Open Lines.
Yes.
From January the 18th, 2002. That's nearly 25 years ago. Quarter of a century, but these are some fantastic callers. I cannot wait to talk about them. It's going to be kind of like one of our Ghost to Ghost formats, where we kind of go through the callers and talk about them. On November the 23rd, we're going to be revisiting Kolchak, the zombie episode. We just did the Ripper. We had some different thoughts the second time going through the Ripper, and we're going to see if that's going to hold true with the zombie. After that, we're going to be dealing with Night Gallery, Season 2, Episode 9. We're going to jump back to the X-Files in December, followed by Scooby-Doo.
Zoinks! Scoob! Caught me off guard there, Dave.
Sorry. I was expecting Zoinks, the podcast.
Podcast, yeah.
Art Bell, Ghost to Ghost, 2003, Part 2. We're going to end the year with a Wild Wild West. And we will do the next movie in this series on January the 11th, In Search of Ancient Mysteries. That's where we have it booked.
Yeah, nice. So we'll have another one to talk about. These really get me going, and it's hard to. I think this one's so hard to focus on is because the episode itself told us so much, Dave. It threw so many different specifics out there. So that I'm like, I'm not writing this down. I don't even know what he said.
If you get a chance to watch this, please do. It is only about 51 minutes in length. But when you are done, it feels like you've watched a 2 or 3 hour movie. You've been taken all over the world. It is totally like, let's talk about Nazca. Let's talk about Egypt. Let's talk about Machu Picchu. You are constant. It's exhausting by the time you're done. And
thank you, Traveling Fools, for becoming a member at Level 1 Support. I appreciate that. Yo. There you go. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
And Zachary does bring up a good point. Set your notifications, but we are here every Sunday unless something happens. So.
Yeah, we're always here every Sunday. I mean, this was a rare Thursday night push, but we're here every Sunday. We've been here every Sunday for over 2 years. So there you go. So there you go. A good lineup. Oh, more, Dave?
Well, I'm just saying this is our 128th episode together. And we started broadcasting in 2023.
Holy Moses. Okay, so we're coming up on 3 years.
In May, we started doing the weekly show. We did a couple standalones, but yeah.
Nice. And thank you, Ricky Marshall. Wait, where am I going? Oh, Traveling Fools gifted 1 membership, level 2 support. Thank you. To Ricky Marshall. Very cool. Appreciate that very much. Traveling Fools, who has a trivia night. He has trivia nights a lot. And he's got a paranormal show on. Which night is it, Traveling Fools? Better not be the same night as I'm doing something, but I think Friday nights. Yeah, Friday nights. Yeah. You asked me to come on with, I haven't been able to yet, but Abby Normal. He does a Friday night guest panel, and they talk about Art Bell stuff and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, interesting stuff. Go check it out. Anyways, okay, now we're back from commercial break.
Make sure to support the sponsor, the Late Horror Show.
Yeah. Myself. So I think the other cool thing is the Nazca lines. Let's bring that up because, okay, so in the show, they started talking about like the Nazca lines. There's as you're going to southern Peru, there's this giant, and this isn't the Nazca lines, but it's in the area and going to what's so funny?
As we're headed to Peru,
As we're headed to Peru,
which we do every
Peru.
weekend, yes.
Well, I think the giant trident. Do you got more information? Did you write anything down? Where it's
I would have to look at my notes here.
Okay, don't worry about it.
Yeah,
as you fly over, it's a giant. Go ahead. I asked you. Giant trident, which is like a sword, like in Little Mermaid.
Yeah, but basically they're saying that these were carved etched 2,000 years ago into the land.
Yes, yes, and it pointed inward. And once you go inward, there's an abandoned city,
Civilization.
Yeah, that was just abandoned. But
then
then
I
you
would move too in Peru because I don't think it rains there very much. I think this is one of the reasons that the Nazca lines are still there is because you get hardly
erosion,
rainfall at all there. Like
exactly, perfect spot.
And what pisses me off about Nazca, and I'm going to take a little side trip here.
Sure.
Is that we created the Pan American Highway right over the Nazca lines. We didn't even think about like, hey, what's this line doing here? I don't care.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe, let's lay the cement over it. And we create this highway across these incredible lines, you know?
Yeah. And I go back to, it's a shame how much has been destroyed, first off, but then how much has been hidden. That pisses me off even more. What gets brung up, like we've talked about this with Art Bell over the years, and then he passes away, then you never hear of this stuff, or something cool comes up and then somebody dies, whether it's a scientist or something like, dealing with odd things. We're not supposed to know about these things, but I don't know. It's going to throw all civilization off. But yet we have these Nazca lines. We have lines. Okay, first of all, you can't, from the ground, you can't tell what's going on. So as you get in a plane and you go high above, you see a perfectly formed spider, a perfectly formed eagle, peacock, hummingbird. Okay. Then you got what is known as the airport landing strips, long landing strips that, parallel each other. Some cross and intersect, some leading to nowhere, which that's what airport landing strips do, is they eventually stop because something's taken off.
Yeah, but first of all, I would say that those are really long landing strips.
They are.
But they do look, especially from the air, like a modern day airport.
Yes.
And so I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing with space travel. But when we think about like all that we were able to do was really do the space shuttle, where we needed a long landing strip. But other countries, such as Russia, they just come straight down and land, right? So it's always weird to think what type of technology that these individuals had that you needed a long landing strip.
Right. If the technology, and again, was it technology of civilization here on the Earth that maybe got help, that advanced to the point of flying machines? Okay, or was it ancient aliens? And that side of it, why such a long landing strip? What kind of propulsion system did they need such a long landing strip? We look at UFOs today as, being able to just hop here and there, boom, 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 maybe a portal, or magnetically they're moving about, so they can straight down. So they don't even really need a landing strip, So
right.
That's the question in my head.
Yeah, and I love, Bob Lazar would always talk about when he was on Art Bell, he goes, how we have a way of creating things where it's one step. We have to follow a pathway. He goes, it doesn't mean that other civilizations haven't done something different.
Right.
They might look at us and go, hey, look at this. they're propelling something forward by shooting stuff out the back. He goes,
Right.
that's something that's really different compared to other civilizations that may, and he talks about the idea of a bowling ball on the bed. If you push down your mattress in front of the bowling ball, it's going to run forward. He goes, why not compress space in front of the object in order to move it? So
Right. And Ricky Marshall, I just talked about that, right? As you, and then you put it up there. Why would alien spaceship need a landing strip? Because I think, again, you know, all propulsion systems not equal. Did another, you know, civilization come here, or was it from a civilization that built up here and created a flying machine? Did the, you know, I don't know. I think that's a little far-fetched because it wasn't supposedly that long ago. Did they? Is there a date on the Nazca lines? I'm sure there is, but
I think they had mentioned they figured them to be about 2,000 years old.
okay, yeah, and I think even that's questionable. I don't know. You know, there's
I would question it too.
yeah. So there's that, yeah. And what was I going? There was okay, as the Nazca.
And I wanted to bring up Voyager before we left as well, because we're beginning to run short on time.
Oh yeah, no, go ahead. Oh my God, 9:14. Oh geez.
Yeah, so we propelled Voyager, you know, out into the universe, right?
Yes.
And on it, we've got a metal plaque. Here's a guy. Here's a girl. Here's, you know, our binary code.
As simple as can be.
And here's where we are.
Yeah.
Do you think that was stupid?
You're throwing out a question of, you know, are we pointing out ourselves to be killed by a race that's just like, let's go destroy them. It must be a good planet, you know.
I mean, you know, I think it's fascinating, you know, whoever finds that, and if they can find us, and who's to say it's going to happen, you know, even when the Earth is still around, right? I mean, we've only got so many billions of years left before the sun goes supernova. So I think that's interesting. And I'm sorry, Bo just made me lose my train of thought. But also the idea that when we have ancient civilizations looking our way, they may have either looked at our planet and said, nope, nothing there. Or if they looked at it a couple of 65 million years ago, they would have said, this planet's, you know, occupied by reptiles, by dinosaurs, right?
Right.
It's only in the last blink of an eye, if they had looked our way, would they have caught us? Right. You know, so again, it's the idea that, you know, aliens could have been here and there ain't nothing here, you know?
Yeah.
I always think about, you know, like, you know, when I drive to Las Vegas, driving to Las Vegas today is much different than it was 30 years ago, because you've got all these new cities that have come up that have been populated. We have bigger cities. And so there's less and less open space. And so I think it's maybe, you know.
No, 100%. And traveling fools, yeah. I mean, it depends if it's theirs or ours. You know what I mean? You know, because depends on the type of propulsion system, really. But I mean, that makes just as good of a point as any. And there were also what they say were rocket launch pad type things there too.
Well, I remember, you know, not on this show, but, you know, when we look at some of the ancient ruins of cities, that we have these gigantic pieces of, you know, stone that it looks like it's been, you know, used as a launching pad. So
yeah. Star Trek Beyond points out that our connections to each other is our weakness, but the Enterprise crew believed it was their strength. I see Dave's point of view there. I believe the second there. I believe it is our strength. I really do, because again, we are all energy. We are all connected. The entire universe is connected. Okay. So the energy here is connected to the energy at the beginning. I'm saying the beginning of the Big Bang, but I don't believe in the Big Bang theory. I'm sorry. You just don't fly. And you ask any scientist, they'll go through the theory, but then they'll say, yeah, we have no idea. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. It's a theory they don't want to, because they have no other one. They just throw it out there. My theory is there could have been another universe that, boom. So you have multiple universes. So you get a big explosion, a big bang from that universe. I think I keep hitting my microphone is why the audio keeps cutting in and out. That explodes and creates another universe. So that's something that's been hypothesized by the likes of Michio Kaku and others. So, Dave, you got something to say there? What's going on?
No, I was just thinking, wouldn't it be funny if it was truly the universe was on a little necklace on Pyewacket's neck from Bed Knobs Broomsticks or something like that?
Yeah.
Boy.
Oh my gosh. There was another really cool thing where oh boy. You know, let me bring up a couple other images here. We might as well. We don't got a whole lot of time. And I saved some images that look kind of cool. Like this one looked kind of cool too. I mean, cave wall. I mean, what's that look like to you? I mean,
it looks like a guy with an Easter basket.
Or he's going to pick up his helmet. I mean, possibly.
Very true. Yes.
I mean, you know, but again, some of these could be interpreted as, you know, your mind could, you know, there's many ways to go. Right. So let's see. I think I got another one.
You see, and that's one thing too.
Oh, this one here.
We're only at the time now where we would have like access to this type of information.
Right.
You know, who's to say that, you know, like when you go into like a cave, when you do the cave paintings like at Lascaux, it has over 600 paintings, but you've only seen like 10 of them, 12 of them.
Oh, right. Yeah.
What do all the others look like, you know?
Exactly.
So there are images like in Peck Merle, for instance.
This one looks amazing, but anyways.
Yeah, this one is fantastic. It looks like an opening to the X-Files.
It does, yes.
But it's, you know, we have most of the figures of hands on the wall missing a digit, you know, and we don't know like what that symbolized or anything like that. Like, and it's not just like one or two, like they'll show like in the history books, they'll show like the hands on the wall, some being positive space, like it was dipped in pigment, and others like the pigment was spit around the hands. But they don't show the ones where they're missing fingers, and like 75% of these hands are missing fingers. So it's just a very interesting, you know, I would love to be able to go in and document each of those images. And who knows what more we would have seen in terms of, you know, alien-like figures like the one you just showed.
100%. I wish I could. Yes, if I could have all the information, all the text, and work. I mean, again, in a lifetime, you probably couldn't decipher or go through everything that's, you know, maybe below the Vatican or something like that. I don't know. I think the other interesting thing with the Mayans, you know, is Kukulkan. Supposedly, the person who came from the heavens to help them with their civilization. 600 AD, the Mayan population just moved up and moved northward. There was no famine, no sickness, nothing to show that they needed to, but they moved. And what was the the steps of the pyramid there, and in that area, 365 steps. And the calendar itself, every 600 years. Oh, I hope I'm not wrong on that. The calendar is off by 1 day, which, you know, we know that story, and that's a story for another day if we ever dive into the Mayans. I'm just trying to pick up.
Chichen Itza.
Okay.
According to my notes, where we have the stone relief of the Mayan Kukulkan.
Yes.
But what was, to me, when I was watching that, was fascinating because both him and Quetzalcoatl, when they left, they took off into the stars. It's not
Yeah.
like, hey, they went out, through the river, or they went out over the hills. They went up,
Right.
and
Yeah.
that was really fascinating. We didn't talk about Stonehenge. If we could just spend a couple minutes on that.
Oh, go for it, Dave. Hit
So
Stonehenge.
yeah, so Stonehenge is really interesting to me because, again, it's the idea that we have to have a civilization that can quarry, transport stones 20 miles away over marshland and rivers and forests. And if you believe Arthurian legend, it's Merlin the magician that was able to raise the stones and move them and set them into place. And we argue, is it the Druids, which, brings us back to, early history. But it's, I think, a site that's been also built on for literally 1,000 years. From about 2500 to about 1600 BC is when this site was created. But I argue, and what bothers me is that you will have this structure because it's 2500 BC with the Neolithic architecture. But you don't realize that Stonehenge and the pyramids are made simultaneously. And so to me, I think Stonehenge has a great PR person that it
100%.
just it's more than really what's there. I mean, I don't want to take away anything from the intricacies or the calendar or astronomical significance of that site.
Right.
But it's like these guys built the pyramids at the same time, and they're 10 times as cool. Also, with Stonehenge,
I think too. Again, I'm not going to. Yeah, we not enough time to debate on what Totally different purposes, Dave. I think.
True.
So, Stonehenge didn't need to be anything more than it was.
No, but with Stonehenge, you have Avebury up the road about 12 miles. It's 10 times as big.
True. That is true. Yeah, Stonehenge. Oh, yeah, right there. Geez, see? Yeah, Dave. Speaking of ancient civilizations. Okay,
Got
Dave.
a fur ball there.
Oh, boy. You've been cleaning, Bo? Dave, that's disgusting. Oh, thank you, Harry. Thank you very much.
Indeed.
Yeah, let's see. Anything else to touch on here, man? Huh?
I'm done.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think Three Eye Atlas was I think overall here, this was just telling you that we've been visited this specific episode, Ancient Astronauts in Search of. We've been visited many, many times. And there have been many, many you got to go back on the channel and look for Paranormal Into the Night and check out the shows I've done with Heather Arnold. They're very, very, and Gary Wayne too. Gary Wayne dives a little bit more into ancient prophecy in the Bible, which is, his shows are very, very interesting. But Heather Arnold will go over some specifics for sure.
You also had Avi Loeb on a couple times.
Yes. Can I read? Again, the Bible speaks a lot of strange things that could be interpreted as aliens or whatnot. Dave, should I read one?
Sure.
Okay. Ezekiel 1:4-28 says, "And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself, and a brightness was about it. Also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures. Their appearance was like burning coals of fire, and the living creatures ran and returned as the appearance of a flash of lightning." Very interesting, right? Is that a UFO landing and beings getting scared and taking off again? Or is it something a little bit more celestial? I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
But lots of interpretations in there. But anyways, yeah. So there you go, Dave.
And to Harry Scott and Lester Gremlins.
Yeah, right. I like the movie Signs. Yeah, good movie. Badass soundtrack. Yes, the soundtrack was good too. So, Dave, what have we learned here?
We've learned that In Search of is going to be an incredible series.
Yes, exactly. Yes. And if you haven't checked out the book by Eric von Daniken, Chariots of the Gods, it is a good read, especially if you're Art Bell fan, if you're into the whole ancient aliens type thing. It's a book that is a must read, I would say. So yeah, definitely check that out. With that said, yeah, we'll be back next week. I think is going to be a great show. Bizarre Open Lines, Art Bell, Remembering Art Bell, another Paranormal Into the Night, and Bizarre Open Lines is a fun show. Most of his really weird open line shows like that were just tremendous. I mean, so that's going to be a great show next week, Dave.
Can't wait. I'll be here.
Okay. And if you haven't hit that thumbs up before, now hit it, hit it please. And thank you, Traveling Fools, for the gift and the membership. I'm trying to remember if there was somebody else. If you did, thank you all. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. 1 hour and a half in, we're at 84 people watching, and we got to go. So we will see you next week. Dave's got a dinner date. Hope it goes well, Dave.